Hey guys, in this video, we're going to be going over the pros and cons of living in Temecula, California. And if you guys stick around until the end, I'm going to share with you guys a con that's not really talked about or said or really known about. So let's get to it right now. All right, if this is your first time to this channel and you want to know everything that there is about living, eating, breathing, sleeping in Temecula, California, then subscribe below, tap the bell for notifications so you can be the first to know about the current market in Temecula, California. Hi, my name is Jonathan Hernandez, and we get calls every single day for people just like you that are looking to make their move to Temecula, California. So whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. We'd love to help you make that smooth move to Temecula. All right, so going into our first pro of living in Temecula. Our first pro is the people of Temecula. So the people of Temecula, they're amazing people. They're just so friendly, so outgoing, very, what's that word? They're just very open arms for anybody that moves in. So we have a lot of people that move in from LA County, San Diego County, or Orange County, and it's just very welcoming. Anytime you come to any one of these communities, any of these houses, I guarantee you one of your neighbors is gonna come out to you. They're probably gonna offer you some help. They're probably gonna offer you some cookies or some beers or something around those lines, just because that's how the people are here. They're just very friendly and they're very helpful. And so the people here are just pretty awesome. I mean, I don't have any issues. I've never had any issues. I don't know anybody that has. It's just a great, genuine community out here of people. The second pro of living in Temecula is the schools. Now the schools, I stated before in my previous video, the schools are rated top 50 in the US for best schools. So they're highly rated, like award-winning, recognized schools in the whole state of California. I stated earlier in California, we go off a percentile on how schools are kind of based and rated. And so it's a scale of 1 to 10, right? Obviously 10 being the best, 1 being the worst. Well, there's not one school that's rated below a 6. Majority of the schools here in Temecula are ranging from 7 to 10. And I mean, that's pretty impressive. And so the schools here are very well funded. The education here is very great. The school sports system is amazing. Like the football team, the basketball team, all these guys out here, I mean, they're top notch. And so the schools is one of the biggest pros that a lot of people move out here to Temecula for. It's for the schools, for the children, so they can grow, because it is a family-oriented place and people love that. Now, the third pro about living in Temecula, let's go over the attractions, right? And so what attractions does Temecula, California have? Well, we have the Temecula wine country. So if you're a big wine drinker and you love to sip on that little red wine, this place is for you, right? We have a bunch of wineries here. That's what we're about. And so we have the Temecula Temecula Valley Balloon and Wine Festival every single year that people just love, right? And so that's one of the attractions that we have is the wineries. Well, another attraction that we have is the Pachango Resort Casino. And so if you guys like to gamble, you guys just like to hang out, maybe have a drink in the casino or get some good food or hang out by the pool, whatever the case may be, we have it. So the Pachango Resort Casino is another attraction that people come here for because it's rated one of the top casinos in all Southern California, along with Old Town Temecula. So that's another attraction that people come here for. So Old Town Temecula, it's awesome. If you guys like boutique stores, if you like bars, if you like some good food, if you like good coffee, Old Town Temecula is where you need to go. And so if you're about that nightlife and you like to go out and, you know, party a little bit, you guys can go out there. Whether you love country, you love hip hop, or in between, whatever, they got it. They got arcades out there. They got a bunch of stuff to do. And so they got some good breweries out there, some really good restaurants that I would recommend. Be Good 1909. They have a Cuban restaurant, Havana Kitchen. Very good places to go to down there. They got some coffee shops. some country dancing if you guys are into that type of thing. So they have the Stampede over there. It's a pretty neat place to go. And so Old Town Temecula, and as well as another attraction is the Promenade Mall. And so we're the closest mall within a 30-mile radius. And this mall is an outdoor and indoor mall. I'm sorry, not 30, about 20-mile radius, but it is an outdoor and indoor mall. So it has the outdoor outlets, and it has all the general indoor stores like the Macy's, JCPenney's, the Wetzel's Pretzels, or whatever the case may be. And then we also have a Mac store out here, you know, Sephora's, and all the other little good knickknacks that stores that people like to go to. It's all here. And so the attractions here are just like, they're pretty limitless. They have axe throwing, we have mini golf, you know, there's a bunch of things to do. So that's another biggest thing. Now, moving on, let's go into pro number 4. Let's talk about our outdoor living in Temecula. Well, if you're that type of person and you love the outdoor life, Temecula is probably for you, just because there's so many things to do. Now, if you're a golfer, this is the place to be. Championship golf courses in Temecula, right? If you guys like to disc golf, throw that little frisbee around, we have some of those as well. If you guys are just, hey, you know, that's too much for you, you just like to take a nice stroll or a nice walk, there's a bunch of parks and a bunch of trails that you guys can hit along the way. And so some pretty neat spots that you guys can kind of go to. And a lot of these parks and trails are actually in the residential communities, which is pretty freaking cool, that you can walk outside your house and then, you know, take 5 steps and you're on a walking trail, right? And so that is another big thing, is the outdoor living here in Temecula is just amazing. So many things to do. You guys can go do bike riding, mountain biking, road biking. You guys can go on some trails, go walking on some trails, have a picnic at the park, whatever the case may be. There's varieties of options, and you're gonna have it here in Temecula. Now, the number 5 pro, this is the last pro for living in Temecula, is the affordability, right? And so the affordability in Temecula is amazing, right? Compared to all these big cities surrounding the area of Temecula, right? So, you know, for example, San Diego, different parts of San Diego, if you want to try to find maybe a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, well, you'll probably be looking upwards to about maybe 700K or so. If you're looking in LA County, depending on some areas, you guys might be looking up to 8 to $1 million. I mean, it gets pretty intense out there. And so the affordability is out here is pretty crazy, because for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, you can still get something out here, maybe in the 500 to 600, right? And so if you want to know more about affordability, houses, prices, check out my other video that I made in Temecula, because I went through some houses and I kind of give a guide tour of what there is in the current market, what to look for, so you guys kind of know a range of what it is you guys want to buy here. All right, so that was pretty much all the pros of living in Temecula, California. Now let's get to the cons. All right, so the first con that we have is the weather. Well, the weather here, we have mild winters and we have some hot summers. Depending, if you're comparing our summers to Las Vegas, then maybe it's not so hot. But if you're coming from anywhere else where the weather is about 80, 90, well, that's not dry, then you're probably in a good spot. I mean, Temecula, California, it doesn't get crazy hot. It's considered Mediterranean type of climate. I can see in the summer times, it gets upwards up to sometimes 110 maybe. I think 115 might be pushing it, but it steadily stays in the high 90s, in the low hundreds during the summertime. In the winter months, we can see as low as 20 degrees in some parts of Temecula, but on average, it probably stays anywhere from 35 to 60 degrees in the winter months. And so it's kind of one of those things that, hey, if you can get over the weather, so can I, so you can too. But weather, that's one of the cons here. It does get a little bit hot out here just because we are out in the desert and we are off of some mountains, kind of in a valley. Now, another pro I'm sorry. Another con, the second con of living in Temecula is the distance. And so if you're not a fanatic of driving or commuting or going anywhere outside your town, then it's probably not it. Because when I mean distance, I mean the distance from major places such as San Diego or LA or Orange County, where you can go to Disneyland, or if you guys wanted to go to the mountains to ski and snowboard, there are some ways. Everything is more than about 40 miles out of here, but less than 90. And so the furthest, I would say, the furthest attraction that you would probably seek out is LA. To do some fun stuff in LA, why not? LA is about 85 miles from Temecula, California. But we have a closer city, which is San Diego, which is 45 miles south of here, to get to roughly the downtown area where you guys can do a bunch of things. I mean, you guys can go to, Little Italy. You guys can hop on the USS. There's a Navy ship out there. It's a museum. It's really great. You guys could check that out. I'm sorry, I don't know what it's called on the top of my name, but you guys can go to downtown San Diego or O-Town San Diego and check out the culture there. Pretty neat, a lot of stuff there to do, but the distance from here to San Diego, a little bit far. To LA, a little bit far. Everything's over 45 minutes. So if you don't like that commute, then Temecula, California probably isn't for you. But a lot of people don't mind it because, that's kind of what it has to take. We're in the hub, in the central of kind of all the big major cities here in Southern California. And that's personally one of the reasons I love it, and a lot of people do love it, is because you can get everywhere within under an hour, but again, it is an hour still to get anywhere, right? And so that's kind of the second con of living here, is the distance to places. Now, the third con and the final con of living here is the traffic, okay? So a lot of people think that the traffic, there's a misconception that the traffic it's probably not going to be as bad because it's a smaller town or whatever the case may be. The population here is a little over 110,000 people. Majority of the people that are commuters from Temecula come from San Diego. So if you're one of those commuters from San Diego and you work out that way, the commute and the traffic coming north really sucks. Especially on a Friday, anytime after 2. It's just bad. But if you can get over the traffic, then great, because there's a lot more pros than there is cons, but the traffic does suck coming south to north to Temecula, just because it's kind of congested on that I-15 coming up that little hill from San Diego down to the Valley of Temecula. It gets very congested, but then it kind of splits up going into Marietta. If you guys are commuting from north to south, that's a different story. The traffic is not as bad, but in the Temecula area as well, it does get pretty congested. The streets get a little busy just because everything's kind of located at the same spot. But I hope you guys like this video. That's all the pros and all the cons. So I gave you about 5 pros and 3 cons about living in Temecula, California. I hope this is some good information. And again, whether you guys are moving in 9 days or 90 days, give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. We would love to help you make that smooth move to Temecula. You guys have a great day.